Well, this would be a shit way to start the MotoVlog. So, yeah. Open road. This is much better. So, it's been a while. It's tough doing these things, or at least, you know, bringing myself to doing a video. It's just, I don't know how some people are able to do these so regularly. I suppose it's a mindset at the end of the day. I mean, I've committed to a lot of strange things in my life that I do regularly, and yet I don't bat an eyelid. But something about putting my voice down to a video just seems very unnatural to me. I imagine it is so for most people, but particularly for me, it's not something that I'm used to. But today I thought, why not give it another crack? I think it's been over a month at least since I did the last one, and a lot's happened in that time. Yeah, quite a lot has happened actually, relatively speaking, considering there was fuck all happening before that. So yeah, so maybe I'll just go through what's been going on in my life and be super vain, and that'll be kind of easy just to go through that. It seems proper boring, I guess, for me and probably for most people watching, but hey, I don't know why I'm doing these anyway. So apparently Corona is no longer a thing from the gist of what I see in the media, or at least they've milked that topic dry. And yeah, the other thing seems to be a big topic, rightfully so. I'm not going to say much to it, but yeah, it's I'm glad to see the back end of this COVID shit, slowly but surely. I mean, here in Germany it's pretty much an ongoing joke. In other countries, I think, so from what I've got gathered from the gist of things in the UK, it's still very much real. So suck on that. On my end of things, I'm back in the gym on the reg now, which is nice. Going to a new gym that's more local, one that I can walk to. That's pretty handy, I have to say. I do miss being able to just wandering over to a gym rather than having to drive half an hour to get somewhere. I was really losing interest in trekking back and forth. It's giving me an hour of my day back, so to speak, not having that travel time in between. You know, it's a 5-minute walk to the gym now, so I just find it much better. It's a smaller gym, it's quiet though, it's got what I need, and that's what I really just appreciate right now more than anything. Anyway, hang on, let's get this bend sorted. It's a fucking death trap, this one. Sometimes people come flying around this bend. And I got my bike back from the shop, so to speak, yesterday. Or my brother-in-law was nice enough to throw a new rear tyre on the back for me. Fucking amazing, because believe it or not, Harley wanted let me think. I'm trying to remember what they quoted me. So for the back and the, I asked for a few things. I asked what would it cost for the front and the rear, because I was like, maybe, and what would it cost just for the rear, just to get an idea. For the front and rear tyre, so including the tyre, including labour, they wanted over 800 euros. I mean, get a load of that. That's fucking crazy. I don't understand it at all. For the rear tyre, they wanted just shy of 500. I mean, understandably, the rear is more work involved, but still, I mean, I asked them for a breakdown of the quote, and they were charging a fortune for the rubber alone. I mean, the tire itself, it's the rear wheel is, it's 24 centimeters wide, so it's a fat chopper tire, so it's going to cost more, but those things cost 200. I've seen it. I've got plenty of fucking websites out there that I can look at and get an idea. They wanted 310 euros just for the fucking tire, and I don't think that's cool. I think that's really a bit of a joke, because I mean, yeah, throw 5-10 euro on there to sort out the order, like you're going to do the ordering process, but don't chuck another 100 euros on there. That's really bad. So I as much as I love Harley, when it comes to maintenance and anything to do with like the actual workshop itself, I've steered clear of them pretty much, because it's just a bummer. There's another local workshop around here that's privately run. I've gone to them. I did that at the beginning of the year to get the inspection and the service done, and they were really cool guys, and they were proper reasonable. Like, they didn't charge the world for what they were really doing. I really appreciated that. And the guys in there are actually registered Harley mechanics, so they actually did their training at Harley in Frankfurt, so they know what they're doing. And don't charge that Harley tax on top of that. So I will be going to them more often. But yes, at the end of the day, I'm very grateful to my brother-in-law Harry for helping me out, and just I was about to say whacking that rear tyre on, but I know there's way more involved in that. But nevertheless, it's good to have that sorted, because it was looking the old one was looking pretty fucking bald. I have got a measurer, one of those depth gauges. I mean, I was running under a mil. That's a millimeter. For those who don't know their metric slang, and that's not really good, particularly since the legal requirement is 1.6. So I was kind of trying to get my money's worth, I guess. But now there's a fat new one on the back, and it's a nice Dunlop. So they had the best reviews out there for their Harley tyres, so I went with that. Yeah, what else has been going on? I'm trying to think, because what's really relevant. This is kind of interesting because I'm treating this more like a diary entry, I guess, but it does help because I seem to be able to just ramble pretty consistently throughout this video. I got some great news last Friday. I don't want to go into detail really online, but let's put it this way. I went to the doctor. I went to the university clinic in Frankfurt and got some incredibly surprising but positive news. I mean, very surprising and very positive. So I'm chuffed with that, and I can't believe that that's kind of a, you know, thing that was going on in my life, ongoing for the last year, and it's a huge weight off my shoulders. But in another way, it causes a different kind of headache, you know, that you have to think about, and yeah, something that I have to now sort of contemplate as I go on. Bloody Japanese bikes, always in a rush. And since we last spoke, I went on a couple of road trips with Michelle. 2 longer ones. Like, I think the longest we've ever done together. We went down to Heidelberg once on the bike. Really, that was probably our longest trip in a day. It was a couple of hours. That was really good. But we did a couple of, you know, overnighters, which was new, something I hadn't done before. We really put a lot of mileage down, or because we're in Germany, a lot of kilometers. We finished, I think we finished over 750 kilometers on the first trip we did, where we just rode around visiting loads of castles. It was fantastic. We did 2 nights, and it was a hell of an experience for us both, because I don't know if you know this, but the Breakout that I ride, I mean, I have done some changes to it to make it a little more long distance friendly, i.e. the apes and the sissy bar and the luggage rack, but it's still not a touring bike, you know. It wasn't designed to carry 2 people for 700 kilometers over that short time frame, but we made it. I think Michelle enjoyed it, but at the same time very much regretted agreeing to coming along. But it's kind of a interesting scenario there. But we both did have a great time. We went with Michelle's dad and his partner, and we had a great time. And then the next road trip we went on again with them, and we did the Weinstraße, which was also great. We just did 1 night there. I think we got just shy of 500 kilometers in 2 days, which was hard riding, because the first day the hotel we'd booked was much closer than originally planned. So the first day we only did about 150 kilometers, which left us 350 left to do on the second day, which was tough. That's a lot of riding in 1 day. for a solo rider, let alone someone on the back. I mean, that seat at the back is not great, and the positioning of the foot pedals is quite high, so it puts you in a very weird angled knee position, which isn't too nice on longer, for longer durations. I don't know really. I do know actually what I was about to say, which was something that led to me going to Fulda with Michelle, and we went to the Harley dealership up there because they have a much better selection of bikes up there, and that you can test ride. And we just went and checked out some touring bikes, and I really wanted to give it a go, see what it feels. I've never actually got on the had a ride on a road glide or a street glide, and I was originally always a fan of the street glide for years and years and years. And within the last probably 6 months, I've really come to appreciate the lines on the road glide, like the aesthetic of it, far more than the street glide. The benefits in terms of an actual touring vehicle are also much more tourer friendly, let's say, the road glide, purely because of that fixed fairing that it has. It's that does make a difference. I mean, so I had a ride on it. I went for a ride on the 2020 road glide special. It looked fucking sweet. It's all black, so it's black fairings and all black details. I mean, Murdered Out looked sick. I was a big fan of that, I have to say. And the actual ride itself was great. I mean, I really liked it. It's actually more agile than the Breakout, which makes sense because the Breakout's got that fat tire on the back. It doesn't really lend itself to cornering. It's a much lower ride as well, so you're more likely to scrape either the primary or your foot pedals down there. Whereas on the road glide, you're not going to have that. Everything sits a little higher. You got the wheels, and the suspension quality on that 2020 is phenomenal. I mean, that ride's so smooth, and having a fairing. I mean, I've ridden without windshield or a fairing for a few years now, and I'm used to taking a battering. And with the road glide, I noticed that you can get up to like speeds of 120, 140 and not even realize it. It was it's pretty crazy. Like I took it on the main road while I was doing the test ride, and I got up to 120 without even realizing it. Once I did realize it, I was like, oh, okay, I'll see once I start feeling it. And it wasn't until I got to about 150 where I started to get a little buffer coming across my helmet, which is pretty fucking crazy. So you can see why, it's good design. You can see why people love it for touring. And I'm tempted to get one. I don't know whether I'm going to get a new model. I don't know whether I'm going to get an old model. I don't know whether I'm going to keep this one. I don't know whether I'm going to sell this one. Because I do love this Breakout now. I have done a lot of changes to it over the last 2 years. It would be very difficult to say goodbye to it, I have to say. I really like it. I mean, even though it was the most ideal bike for those tours, it's still an incredible experience just riding on the road, just getting that wind right in your face. I mean, I'm in no rush. I can imagine if I'm going to do some of the cross country, like actually cross into other countries is what I mean by that. You'd really appreciate a proper touring bike, just to get, just to eat up those miles as quickly as possible and as comfortably as possible. So I'm toying with the idea. Oh, look at that fucking Mustang. Jesus, that's fucking sweet. And he's not a complete old fuck. There's pros and cons to all of it. I mean, if I was to get a 2020 Road Glide, I really like the power that Milwaukee 8 engine provides. I do not like the sound that it produces. But you know, with an exhaust you might be able to fix some of that from what I've heard. Nevertheless, that 2020 price tag is pretty crazy. They want just shy of 30 grand for it. So if I were to go that route, I would have to say goodbye to the Breakout, to be honest. As much as it would pain me to do so, you got to be realistic. I can't afford to keep both, or I can't afford to buy one and keep this one. I'm still paying the finance off on this. I'm going to be very transparent on that. I've got another year on this, so wait, no, how many years I got? I've got another 18 months, so a year and a half, I think. So it would, yeah, maybe at the end of that, but even then, I don't know if I really want to actually go the route of buying a new one. Everyone knows the drill. You lose out big time instantly as soon as that bike or vehicle, anything, leaves the lot. That price drops instantly, and I know that that's all well and good, and it's a brand new vehicle and all that. That's why you pay that price tag, and I can't get my head around it. I'd be quite happy with something with something with like 10k, you know, nothing major, but something that's seen the road already. You know, you got that. The other thing, you know, you're paying for with the new bike, you're paying for the bike. Then you got, you know, everyone knows. Then you've got the Harley tax, aka a new exhaust. You know, that's standard. You can't ride around on a stock exhaust on a Harley. It just does not have that ring. It seems crazy. It used to, but we're talking donkey's years ago. And that's just anecdotally what I've heard. I haven't seen it because I haven't been around Harleys as long as that. But so the new bikes, you got to stick a set of exhaust pipes on the back. That's $2 grand plus installation sometimes as well. It's going to cost you another 500. So that's hefty, to say the least. And then any other alterations you might want to do. I mean, that, to be fair, that 2020 Road Glide, the actual look of it, I wouldn't want to change much. That is the benefit of that styling of the 2020 range. It is exactly how I want it. I like all of the accessories on it. You know, you can pick. The guy at the shop said, you know, if I did buy it, I could pick any windshield I want. They'll just chuck it in for free. So that, I would want to get a slightly bigger windshield than the stock one. You know, even if I were to buy that, would break the bank. But yeah, they'd throw that in. But the exhaust is going to cost. So you're looking at 32 grand just off the bat for the new bike. Whereas if you buy secondhand, oh, I forgot. If you go first, you've got the 1000k service that, you know, that you got to pay for as well. So that's a service you got to pay for pretty soon after even getting the bike, which kind of sucks in a certain aspect. I mean, yeah, it's necessary. You got to check that everything's working, and it keeps the warranty in check. But it's still, that's another couple hundred that you got to calculate in. And no, Harley don't throw that in for free. They're trying to make money still, yet again. And that 1k service, I've read online enough, it makes sense to do that at Harley. Any other services after that you can do yourself, or that are privately owned. Workshop do that for you, but there is value and getting that done there. So yeah, and then yeah, if I get a second-hand bike, yeah, you're risking it. Getting a second-hand bike, in a sense, you don't know for sure what the history is, depending on, if you go private or get it from a dealer. That's the other thing. Obviously, if you go through a dealer, you pay that dealer premium, but they do add, in most cases, a limited warranty of some description, 12, 24 months. I think most stores will offer you a 12-month standard. You can pay for a 24-month on top. So that's nice, but most of the time as well, anything that's worth buying from a dealer second-hand, it's gone within a few days. They have their, unless you're in the know, or you're in a, you know the dealer yourself, they know their guys that they call and let them know if something's turned up. So private would be the way to go. Obviously, when you go private, you have the danger of buying a lemon. So you've got to be careful. But there's enough information out there on how to, how would you say, safely purchase a second-hand vehicle, or even a second-hand Harley specifically. There's even stuff specific to purchasing a second-hand Harley. So I'm cluing myself up on that, with the thought of potentially buying the Road Glide for next season. I think buying it now would make sense coming towards the end of the season. Oh, no, I'm not going now. It's fucking end of June. The season's not over. We've definitely got at least 2 months. With any luck, September will be 3 months of good riding. So we're about halfway through. So I still think it would make sense to get it next year. And then that would also allow to plan for some bigger rides, as well as save some money, because obviously in a year's time the current stock of vehicles will go down in value. So toying with the idea, and hopefully by next year COVID or any other Chinese viruses will not be putting a halt to the entire fun of the world's population, because that sucked ass this far. There have been no biker events or meets, and it's fucking annoying. It's irritating. I was really looking forward to a lot of the meets this year. Some of them have been rescheduled, most of them rescheduled to next year, which doesn't really, that's kind of another way of saying cancelled. The only event that has been brave enough to set a date this year is Lakeside bike meet in September, so fingers crossed that will still be able to take place, but who knows in what way, or what that'll actually look like with all the corona rules. So I'm hoping next year there'll be some good trips, and we got our feet wet with the trips this year. We realised we really enjoy it and we would love to do it more, so a tour run makes sense. And not only that, Michelle has got it pretty strong in her mind that she wants to do her bike license, which I think is fucking cool. I think that would be a great thing for her to have a crack at, and I think she'll actually be quite good at it. Not just as a woman, I mean, I think she'll be a pretty good rider as a woman, but just generally as a fucking rider, I think she'll have a great fun doing it as well. So I look forward to being able to going out on rides with her. I think that'd be great fun, and don't know when that'll be, because doing your license obviously in Germany is a little more involved than some countries, It just... German bureaucracy is fucking intense. So there's a lot involved. It just got to go through her theory. She's got to do a minimum hour of theory and then do the theory tests. Then she's got to do a minimum number of hours of riding, and obviously that's going to be completely new to her because she has had experience riding quads, which is good. It will help. It's better than nothing. But I think two wheels will initially take some getting used to. So once she's got that, she'll be able to then do the test. Sounds so easy just like that, but we all know there's more involved. Nerves and whatever else. It doesn't matter how good you are. Sometimes on the day it's just not your day. And I know I failed my driving test 3 times, so how many times did I fail it? Failed it twice. 3 times? I can't even remember now. I know I failed it a few times. I'm going to say 3. 3 sounds right. But yeah, that's doesn't help that, yeah, I get super nervous in those situations, and it just fucks me up. Everything that you know goes out the window. You know, you just have an empty brain, and it just doesn't help anyone. I can't believe how long I've rambled on for. I don't even know if I'm going to put this video up. It just seems ridiculous. Just talking all this bullshit for this long. I hope you've enjoyed the view. It's one of my favourite routes, just to go on a quick ride around the area where I live. It's super chill. And it's got a couple of twisties in it, but other than that it's just, you know, a lot of tarmac. And yeah, I think on that note, as I turn off here, I'm probably going to just sign off this video, because who knows what will happen to this footage. If you're seeing this right now, you know what's happened. If not, it's just probably gonna get deleted. Either way, I can't believe you've wasted your time watching this, but thanks anyway. If you want to hear anything particular on my next video, I will attempt to do these more regularly. I think I'm going to force myself. I've just got to force myself. I'll just set a day in the week or something where I'll actually do this, and then yeah, that'll kind of help. Routine is the key. So yeah, I don't want to make any promises, because I might break my promises when I'm saying this, but let's say I'll promise to make an effort to be more regular. That'll do.